Hi, guys. Sorry I couldn't be there with you guys today. I have a doctor's appointment that I need to go to, but we do have plenty of work that we need to complete. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start off class with this video where I'm going to walk us through the agenda and give you some directions for what it is that we need to accomplish today during class. All right, let's go ahead and get started. As I said, we have plenty of work that we need to get completed, and we're going to have a test on Friday. So, it's going to be up to you to make sure that you're staying on top of things and that you're working efficiently in today's class. We do not have time to fool around. Before we get started, let's go ahead and take a look at today's joke of the day. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back to you? A boomerang that doesn't come back to you. It's called a stick, silly. Daily fun fact, yesterday was Labor Day, which is the unofficial end of hot dog season. Can you believe it that the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council says that from the beginning of summer, which officially sort of starts on Memorial Day, through the end of summer, which kind of unofficially ends on Labor Day, Americans will eat over 7 billion hot dogs. Man, that is a lot of hot dogs. On this day in history, in 1915, the very first tank was produced. It was produced in England, and it was a prototype that they nicknamed Little Willie. Now, it wasn't a real popular vehicle back in 1915 because it cost a ton of money to make. It weighed a ton. In fact, it weighed 14 tons, and it only moved about 2 miles per hour. But they were able to make quick innovations on it and get it a little bit faster, make it so that it was very hard to destroy, and it became a regular vehicle in almost every country's armed forces. Also on this day in history, going all the way back to 1522, one of Ferdinand Magellan's 5 ships was able to complete the very first circumnavigation of the world. That means that they were able to sail all the way around the earth. It was the very first time that that ever happened. Now, Ferdinand Magellan, he was not on that ship whenever it came back and landed in Lisbon, because he had succumbed to some injuries from a war that he got involved in the Philippine Islands. But his crew, some of his crew did make it back, and they became the first group of people to ever circumnavigate or sail all the way around the world. For today's agenda, we have a couple things that we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I expect our bell ringer pages to be set up in our notebook. And I'll do that here on this video in just a few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and set up our bell ringer page, and we're going to complete the very first bell ringer question that we'll have. Now, every day from here on out, whenever you come into the classroom, the bell ringer question will be on the board, and my expectation is that's going to be the very first thing that you do, is you come in, you sit down, and you begin working on that bell ringer assignment. Once we're finished with our bell ringer assignment, we're going to go ahead and go back to the activity that we were working on Friday. If you remember, we were inside of our textbooks. We were using our textbook. We did some reading in there, and then there was a guided reading activity that we were working on in Friday's folder. We should be able to get that all completed and submitted into that assignment sometime about by halfway through this class period. Once we're done with that, I've created a video for you that's going to go over the 5 themes of geography with you. The 5 themes of geography are very, very important, and I didn't want you to leave it to you just to read about them. So I have a video lesson that you're going to watch in today's folder that's going to help make sure that you understand each of those 5 themes. And then finally, the very last thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and work on a 5 themes geography review worksheet. We're probably not going to finish that today. It's not homework. I'm not worried about you getting it done. We'll finish it up in tomorrow's class. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to set up our bell ringer notebook. Okay, here is our bell ringer page in our notebook. We're going to write all of our bell ringers inside of our notebook each day. And I want you to notice that this is exactly how I want your page set up each week. So let's start at the very top of the page. In the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to underline it in red. You're going to write your name on that part of your paper. Every week, I'm going to expect to see your name in the upper right-hand corner of the page. In the left-hand corner, I'm going to expect to see this headed bell ringers and then the week of the bell ringers. So in this case, we are working on our week 2, because this is the second week of school for us. So these are our week 2 bell ringers. Now, working down the left-hand side of the page, once we get underneath of the week 2, we're going to write each day, we're going to write our bell ringer question and answer. So for Monday, you'll see I have Monday, and then I have the date, September 5th. We had no school. So for this week, you're going to have Monday, September 5th, no school. Then for Tuesday, September 6th, that's today, you're going to see today's bell ringer. I've written the date, and then I write question, and then I'm going to write the bell ringer question. Today's bell ringer question is, what is the definition of geography? I'm going to skip a space, and underneath, I'm going to write the answer. This is where you're going to take a minute, and you're going to write out the definition of geography. Write the answer to the question. And then we're going to skip another space, and we're going to write Wednesday, 9/7, September 7th, and tomorrow we'll write tomorrow's question in that spot. After we've written the question, we'll skip a space and write the answer. And then we'll skip a space and we'll write Thursday's question, skip a space, write the answer, and then finally do the same thing with Friday. This is how I expect to see your bell ringer sheet each week. I also expect you to do the best that you can in writing as neat as possible. I know some of us might have a little bit sloppy handwriting, but if it gets too sloppy and I can't read it and I can't make heads or tails of what it is that you're trying to write, you will not get credit for that question and answer. In order to get full credit, you have to have both the question and the answer for that day, and it has to be somewhat legible so that I can understand it.